I'm supposed to be very brief. Anybody who knows me, that's a hard thing to do. All right. Let me tell you what I'm concerned about, what I found out about, is that for those who don't know me, I did too much research about the subsurface conditions in regards to development down in the harbor area here. About a year ago, in the fall, August, September, I heard about a landslide down along the railroad tracks from somewhere, and I really did not have an opportunity to go see what was going on till now. All these pictures are within weeks, other than this one here. And to keep it short and summarized, there's some risks that you guys should be aware of, and I've already talked to Molly a little bit in the city. The first risk is that there's an opportunity for kids to be stupid and fall off a cliff. And the cliff itself is pretty darn high. It's this particular example here. It is right along the railroad tracks. I can take and sit right next to the railroad tracks, extend my camera, back camera right there, and look straight down with the camera. So it's really close to the railroad tracks. The other thing that's bad about it, if you can see near the top there's a whole lot of brush. Brush sort of covers up that cliff. Now, in me walking around there, there's definitely a trail that goes over the railroad tracks. There's definitely garbage that I've seen that are typical of kids leaving bottles and so on around. There's not one sign that indicates that cliff is there. All right. So it's treating. I was a kid. Mike was telling me about having a swing over the edge of the gorge and so on. We've all been there. But a lot of people are unaware of this, and that's one of the reasons why I brought it up. Second reason I brought it up is that if you look at this one here, this slide, it shows sandstone. And you can actually see slabs of rock. That particular picture was taken at the north end of the trail before, as you come off the water. This sandstone goes down, which means that that area that I'm pointing to right there has no bedrock under it. And if you look at it closely, you can't see any rock in that slide area at all. It looks more like compacted gravel. It has potential to collapse again. Less likely than probably before. But down there's a pipe, and Mike gave me some more information about that, that goes under railroad tracks. CSX repaired the tracks, and they were hoping that they would use them again. But since they did the repair, they've put a cross bar right there to shut down the tracks entirely. They've shut them down going north from Boxart Street now. I don't know how long. I don't think they're going to repair them because of the cost of filling that area. That slope is probably, I'm thinking 50 to 75 feet high. It's a wonderful view. That's the first slide over there. All right. But it has potential to be dangerous for another slide. It also indicates how that whole area is. It means that that area has been built up using sediment. It's not sitting on rock. So if for some reason some of the other area could encounter the same thing that happened to that area, that in turn could also slide. I think I figured out, matter of fact, Mike was helping me with this, with some of the comments he made. Right along this side of the tracks, on the west side of the tracks, there's a good-sized gully there. I believe what happened is last year when we were getting a whole lot of rain, that gully area kept filling up with water because that pipe wasn't there. Mike said there was an old pipe years ago that also collapsed at one point in time and caused similar conditions. There's a whole lot of area there that is all marshland to the west of those tracks, which only helps the conditions. So what happened, at least my projection what happened, it filled up with water, then it seeped into the ground underneath the side of the hill. And at some point in time, it was soaked well enough that it had no more static tension to hold the hill in place, and the whole thing just collapsed. Okay. Right now, with that additional pipe, it's okay, except I don't know how busy that pipe is. They only put rock a little ways down from that pipe. Beyond that, if you've got a good flow of water out of there, you're going to get additional erosion in that spot. And that spot is part of the sloped area that's still in good condition at that point in time. This here is sort of hard to tell, but I was trying to take a straight down picture, and it looks like a piece of land, right? It's just the flat slope of where the slide went. And if you look at this, you can tell that the CSX actually we did some repair work, because this stone here is not anywhere near as wide as this here. Why they didn't talk about it a little bit more, other than liability purposes, I don't know. Like I said, there's no signs there. There's a small CSX sign going south, where Boxart Street, saying no trespassing there, but we know how kids are. They're not going to pay much attention to that. All right. There was one old sign that I found there that says "Don't climb on the gorge wall anywhere," but I had to really work hard to decipher what it was saying. All right. So, information for you to be aware of. Keep your kids out of there. Probably from the Shellac Community Association, and we should try to get hold of CSX and see what else they can do about it. The other thing that I discovered about landslides, they said, okay, what happens in terms of liability for landslides? Well, there's good and bad news there. If you have a landslide and you get somebody that they can evaluate the conditions, they can warn you about the conditions. All right. The bad news about it is that if you do not acknowledge that you know the landslide is there, or that something like this occurred, all right, you're not liable for it. So as CSX, if they never say, hey, I know about this, they're not liable if somebody got hurt or it slid again or whatever. All right, that goes with property too. So if that hill area became a problem further up, and again, it's all downhill from where the houses are at that end. And matter of fact, I've got a picture of, it's this one here. You can see the ridge. There's homes all the way along here. They're farther back. They might be on top of the bedrock there. All right, not on the edge of the gorge. But technically, if they know that there's a landslide potential, whatever, when they sell the house, when the realtor sells the house, they have to make the new prospective buyer also aware of the fact. Okay? So that's information. I'm going to keep it short for you guys, like I promised. It was interesting, and again, there's some serious risks there that everybody needs to be aware of. Questions?